Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy. Hey, Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. What do I do for you? I'm about to wrap this chapter we've been going through. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm about to wrap it up. I got a nice 2-page lesson here, so let's do what we do. Writism, 25 ways to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Here's message and story for life. These are life lessons, even from the book. This is where I got it from. So I'm taking you back to where I come from to show you this is the information that you can use. I did. Let's go. Right thinkers, right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, excuse me. And that is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment with knowledge of self. Right thinkers' way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. With knowledge and understanding makes it possible. As the right thinking master, that's my mission that all right thinkers know thyself. That's the goal. Let's go. A person who knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know, they're asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right? Think to know thyself and to my art be true. Today, wrap the lesson up is we done went through the thoughts and beliefs and desires and all that good stuff. Now, the idea of being ignorant of your higher self. Oh, excuse me, of your divine self, same thing, higher self. But that leads to what? Endless desires. Well, what you talking about again? I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna break it down for you. That's what I do. I got 2 pages of information, hopefully to take you right to where you need to be with this understanding of being ignorant of your divine self leads to desires, endless desires. Watch. Okay? So it is ignorance, yep, of the self, divine self, within that what leads to endless desires. Desires what lead to action. There you go. When you desire something, I mean you want it. You ain't thinking about it. The thought is there. But once the thought turns into a desire, now the next phase is in effect. You done paid attention to that thought and it becomes something you want. That pretty girl walked by, you desire, so you want it. So if you got game, you got money, you got out, whatever you need to get what you want, you use those things to do what you do. That's it. But in life, most of the desires that come from within. Let's deal with those. And watch this. Desires lead to what actions that will what move one toward the fulfillment of that desire. Now, when desires are not fulfilled, here we go. There is either suppression or a longing. Suppression is when you can't get what you want, so you say, "Ah, I really didn't really need it anyway." That's the easy way out. When in reality, you have not dealt with what your desire, and it will what remain latent in the back of the mind until another what provoked incident occurs. With me, if I get money, you know what I'm gonna do with it. Understand? So that's a desire that haven't been fulfilled. And if I got opportunity, first chance I get, that's one of them. Okay, we all have that. Trust me, it's okay. Just put it in perspective and have control over it. That's all I'm trying to explain to you. For instance, you may see, watch this, the object you desire often. Why? Because a friend might possess it. I'm glad I ain't got no friends. They got a red Rolls Royce. I'd probably be jealous. Okay? Envious. Why? Because that's what my desires are. So, yeah, understand that. Again, it's natural. Don't get caught up in, what? No, it's real. Feelings are real. Emotions are real. Deal with them. That's all. So this could be, hey, a car, an article of clothing, etc. No, the car getting it for me. But yeah, that's the concept. And the more you see it, the more pressure your desire is placed on you what to get it. So it drives you to be either envious, jealous, or have hate towards somebody who got something that you don't have. That should never happen. When you see somebody doing something, you should appreciate them doing something themselves and be happy for them. If not, you're a hater. Okay? So then, watch this. Then the suppressed desire leads to what? Anger over what? Your inability. See, it's all about you. Remember, this is all about the individual. That's what I love about getting better. Why? It starts with you. And this is all the information that I give to you, you can use, and you'll see how it work out for you. Watch this. Here we at. The pressure you desire. Okay, here you go. Your desires lead to anger over what? The inability to acquire the object that somebody else have. If you do not suppress the desire, watch this, then there develops longing and fancies about that object. That means you start to become obsessed. That's what happens. It becomes an obsession. You can't get it. You can't. Now you started. Watch this. Here come the evil. Here come the bad thoughts. How happy would I be if I could only get that red Rolls Royce? And so on and so on until I get that red rose. If that's all I'm about, nothing else matters. You can get that, no, until you get that. So you make that the focal point, you really put yourself in a bad position behind the eight ball, so to speak. So don't do that. The concept, watch this, the constant pressure in your mind, on your mind from what? Longing, your anger, your desires, etc., renders what? Your mind dull and gross. It can't focus on nothing else. You pretty much obsessed with something that you can't obtain. That's crazy. Now, if excuse me, it is difficult to see the error in your ways. Why? Because the mind is beset with what? Ignorance about what? The object or desire that it desires that it wants. It don't see nothing. Also, such a mind is what? Incapable of exercising what? Reason, because the intellect is now clouded with what? The delusions or the erroneous beliefs in the mind of what they desire. The object cannot permit happiness to be experienced. Why? Except for the short time when you get it. If I get the Rolls Royce at that time, yeah, wow, off the chart. The wow, what else can I say for it? Okay, now that's the ego. That's what keeps you desiring other things. Trust me. Since this happiness, watch this, is only serving to engender what? New impressions to sprout up into more egoistic desires and longing, which will keep the mind in constant state of what? Vibration, unable to discover what? True peace and contentment. It is not seen as true happiness, but pain in disguise. It's going to hurt. This type of happiness is what most people live for. That occurs as a result of what? Some occurrence in what? The world is termed as what? The world calls this elation. When you get something that you desire, you are elated. Yeah, but guess what? Because it's the egoistic desire, the ego could care less. It wants more. Both elation and excitement. And watch this. Depression and sadness are what? Seen as pain. Why? Because they lead the mind to what? Distracted, agitated state, which distorts the mind's understanding of the world and of its own identity. If what you want is in the world, you want the wrong things. Simple. Make it real plain. I ain't got a whole bunch of time to go through that, so I make it real easy for you. If what you want is physical, you don't want much. Aspire higher to be better spiritually. Thus, watch this, both elation and depression prevent the mind from perceiving what? The divine self. Again, these will keep you from your higher self as the innermost essence of the mind, as well as the essence of creation. We are the creator, part of the creator. This is what? The state known as or referred to as what? Spiritual ignorance. Because I know a lot of us are spiritually ignorant, I'm trying to make you spiritually enlightened. I'm giving you spiritual knowledge to do that. Almost home. Good timing, yeah. Perfect. Now, when there is a longing, to have worldly experiences, there can be what? Very little spiritual discovery. Why? Because you're still caught up in the world. There's a whole bunch of stuff that keep you distracted from meditating, praying, spiritually disciplined, work, righteous lifestyle, being virtuous. A whole lot of stuff would distract you from doing those things. That's why. Moving on. Why? Because this requires what? Focusing, concentrating what? One's attention on who? The divine within as well as outside of yourself. Remember, nature is God expressing itself, but God is also the essence of you. You work in harmony with nature and God. Therefore, you must understand that the witnessing consciousness, which is God within you, I ain't got my eye on either, which is aware of what? Thoughts, feelings, desires, etc. It knows, it just can't do nothing. Is at what? The same time separate from them. All these egoistic thoughts are separate from the divine consciousness and the thoughts that you should be. Watch this. So when you completely realize your separation from what? The contents of the mind, the varied states of consciousness, and the physical body, what'll happen? You will gain an awareness of who you really are, becoming conscious of your higher self. Put the lower self in service mode, making it do what you need to do. It don't run you. That's the difference. Watch this. This is the true goal of life. Set to work. Put your ego to work for you. How about that? Flip it. And that's what ends up happening. I got a lesson coming on high end set because I figured that part out. Watch this. This book did that for me. Brought back a concept that I pretty much forgot over and over. But yeah, it brought back a revelation. Watch this. But now, this is the true goal of life. To what? Discover your true identity and the fulfillment of your life as a human being here on earth, aka know thyself. Fullness here implies what? That you have a deeper, richer experience of happiness and bliss, which cannot be experienced through the mind and senses. Nope. The paradox here is what? That in the state of enlightenment, you experience more peace and happiness than you could ever hope for in ordinary life of the physical senses. This can only get you so far. Sexually, that you're gonna have that orgasm, you're gonna feel good, and then what happens? You do. But with spiritual bliss, happiness, and contentment, you're smooth sailing. Just saying. So this is what every right thinker is really looking for and hoping to what? Find within themselves. That's our goal. To know thyself. It's in you. Everything you need is inside you. All the stuff out here is just window dressing, illusionary. It don't really matter. It is greater, watch this, than any positive worldly situation or thing, such as coming into what? Material riches or traveling to the most beautiful spots on earth and being treated as a king or queen. All that's window dress illusionary. Why? Because when this physical body runs out, so do all those things. But with spiritual enlightenment and knowing thyself, it goes with you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I'm taking it home. We got another paragraph to go. I'm almost there. So watch this. There is no peace and happiness like the peace and happiness that comes from what? Absolute desirelessness. You overcome your lower nature. You don't have no desires. It's called spiritual peace and happiness are related to what? An expansion in consciousness, while what? The peace and happiness of human existence are based on what? Your experiences of the senses and the body, which are what? Fleeting. What you smell, see, hear, touch, and taste are of the physical world. You want to go in. You want to go in. Trust me. Watch this. So those things are fleeting, but we don't realize that. We want to hold on to it. Nope. Nope. Can't do it. Watch this. Thus, most people, as they get older, watch this, and the body and the senses do not function as they did before. Here we go. Yeah. experiences more and more what instances of what sadness and depression. Why? You're starting to not be able to do the things you do, not realizing it's a process. What comes out on 4 goes to 2, end up on 3. Man, it's a cycle of life. When you get old, you're gonna need to understand some things you don't need to be doing no more. And if you're still doing the things, you're gonna find yourself unhappy and depressed. Oh, I can't do this. I remember back in the day I used to do this. Ain't happening. When you become, watch this, when your consciousness associates with the mind and the body, it must what? Constrict itself to a single personality, a single body, and the possibilities of what? One lifetime of experiences. You only get one shot at this thing called life. Make it your best, take your best shot. Give it your best effort. Why? You can't get it back. Spend it. I'm gonna get all the juice out of this lemon. Okay. If I got to get serve me lemon, I'm gonna make lemonade. I'm gonna squeeze all the juice out of it, get all that cut out of it. Understand that we going down. I'm going down swinging. Okay. I'm not giving in. Why? I know myself and I know who I am, and I got the fight in me to do just that to survive. But watch this. However, the expanding consciousness of a spiritual aspirant, which my right thinkers, it transcends what the individual personality to what encompass the entire universe, knowing you are one with the all. Then what is there to desire? If you are the all, what this world offer you? Nothing. Okay, but if you desire something in this world, you ain't realizing you the all. Hello. What is there? Watch this. To long for in a world for human experience. What is there to possess? And nothing's going with you. Last one, wrap it up. You have to understand the mind is like a lake. When the mind is calm, there is no agitation, no movement. It's like a lake that can what? Reflect the image clearly. You can see to the bottom. However, here you go. When the mind is what? Agitated, the mental substance is put into vibration, and thus vibrations are what constitute thoughts and perceptions of the senses. There you go. Starting to see, feel, taste, touch, and hear. Thus, watch this. The conscious becomes a state of what? Rest and reveals one image, one essence, one being. When the mind moves, seeking to fulfill desire after desire, the ego, it is what? Like a lake into which rocks have been thrown. Ripples, constantly vibrating. When you are thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, you got a bunch of distraction going on, that's the concept. Watch this. Now, many waves ripple through the surface, breaking up the image and creating what? The illusion that there are what? Many pieces instead of the one. Thus, these ripples are like the thoughts of the mind. When they are in constant agitation, okay, and vibration in the mind, it's not possible to what? Perceive the self clearly. You can't know yourself when you're agitated, a whole bunch of stuff that's blocking you from doing just that. So there is only a limited experience of peace and joy. Joy and pain. Human, you're gonna have that. Why? Because you're gonna flip flop back and forth. But when you reach spiritual bliss, you reach Hotep, there's only joy, no pain. However, when the mind is calm, watch this, by what? Practicing right thinking philosophy and the wisdom teachings thereof, you detach humility, you will be able to use detachment, humility, dispassion, and meditation in what? Your everyday life. This is what I do. I detach myself from what's going on in the world. I show humility by being thankful to God. I dispassion myself, take my emotions out of situations I got to deal with, and I meditate. All those things you do daily. Why? The true identity within becomes revealed. You know you. That's the lesson. I got it off in less than 20 minutes. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I enjoyed giving it to you. But guess what? I'm not done.